This week on Route 66. Here's your host, Tim Clark.
Well, good morning. Welcome to another episode of This Week on Route 66. Earlier this year, my wife and I and several friends drove our classic cars all the way out to Arizona for the 35th annual Arizona Route 66 Fun Run. So I thought I'd put together a little report of our trip. But first, a quick message from Nick.
Do you have an announcement, a news item, or a product promotion that you'd like to share with the Route 66 community? There are three different options for you to share your information. Option 1, call into our studio hotline anytime, any day, and record your voice message. Or Option 2, call in for a voice conversation with a host. Or Option 3, schedule an online video interview. It's free and a fun way to get your information out to the Route 66 community. See our Facebook page for more information. And now back to Tim for more This Week on Route 66.
Thanks, Nick. Now, earlier this year, my wife and I, along with several friends, left Northwest Arkansas and we headed to Arizona in our classic cars for the 2024 35th Annual Arizona Route 66 Fun Run. We spent 3.5 days driving there, spending nights in Shamrock, Texas, Grants, New Mexico, and Williams, Arizona. We arrived early Friday afternoon in Seligman, and we checked into our Airbnb house. We picked up our registration papers, event t-shirt, and an event bag filled with great items, including a very cool personalized license plate with our registration number right on the license plate. The bag also included items including a ball cap, a fan, a hat pin, a postcard, and a very cool poster. Of course, also the event itinerary and a refrigerator magnet and an ink pen. That evening, we walked down to Delgadillo Snow Cap for a terrific evening meal. Saturday morning, I walked down to Delgadillo's original Route 66 gift shop, and I had the real pleasure of visiting with Angle Delgadillo. While I was there, Angel signed my event t-shirt, and I met Angel's son-in-law, Mauricio Perez. And this morning, Mauricio has joined us. Welcome, Mauricio.
Thanks for having me, Tim. Glad to be here.
Great. So it was fun meeting you in Angel's gift shop, where I did pick up a few souvenirs, including a coffee mug and some other items. Anyway, it's fun to meet you. Now, Mauricio, there were a lot of activities in Seligman Friday evening and Saturday morning. Can you tell our viewers just a few highlights?
Sure. On Friday begins registration for the fun run. And that's back when Angel and the Association Route 66 Historic, we kicked it off the classic car show called our Fun Run. And that starts on Friday. And that's when everybody's going to be pouring into town from all over, from Chicago, from Santa Monica, from Canada. We get all these international visitors as well. And the fun starts. And registration is at the Catholic Church. And we get about 800 plus cars coming in to town. So it's a great event, and it's an all-day thing. And during that time, we have some other activities that we go through, a loud engine contest, a push your car contest, and a burnout contest. So it's there's activities throughout, and then later that evening about 7 o'clock, we all line up and we start to do this huge cruise. And we're going back and forth. The fire department has their flashing lights and horns to start it off. And we basically take up all of Route 66 through Seligman, doing a couple of turnarounds. And after that, the fun begins at the Snowcap. It's a big block party. You'll see little kids to 90-year-olds dancing in the streets. We kind of take over the Route 66 area there in front of the Snowcap. And the Black Cat, they'll have a band and a live music going on. And so it's a great time. And the evening goes on to all hours of the night. And then Saturday, the fun continues. We get lined up, we start cruising around. Everybody, all the car clubs start to line up with each other. And by about 10 o'clock or so, Angel gets on the other end of town, on the west end of town, because that's where everybody's going to be headed down Route 66. And he sets them all free. And he flags them free, and as they go through, one at a time, he's waving at them, and people are just beginning their trek down to Kingman, stopping along the way at the little towns. And that's what that was designed for. It's that 3-day event, and it's designed to bring awareness and revenue to these little communities that were forgotten for so many years.
So Saturday morning, we all lined up on Route 66 on the west side of Seligman, and Angle Delgadillo waved us off, and we cruised Route 66 towards Kingman. Along the way, we stopped at the Grand Canyon Caverns for about 30 minutes, looked at all the cars, and visited with other cruisers. Then we drove to the famous Hackberry General Store. Now, the Hackberry General Store was an awesome stop with live music, friendly staff, and well-stocked variety of souvenirs.
Cheers. Just check your, yeah.
Leaving Hackberry, we cruised on to Kingman and made our way downtown to the Kingman Visitor Center. We all photographed our cars with the famous Route 66 shield, toured the Visitor Center, and then we enjoyed lunch at Mr. D's Route 66 Diner. While we were in Kingman, I was able to record this interview with Nikki Terlesky, Director of Operations at Historic Route 66 Association of Arizona. Nikki, thank you for joining us, and can you tell us about the Fun Run?
Yes. The Fun Run is a 3-day event, and it starts in Seligman, Arizona. Goes Seligman, Kingman, Topock over 3 days. The Fun Run was originally started as a celebration to celebrate the route from Seligman to Kingman being designated as historic. So the first Fun Run was a celebration. From then on, people asked, are you going to do this every year? And they said, you absolutely bet we are. And here we are 36 years later celebrating the Fun Run.
Well, that's fabulous. Now, tell us a little bit more detail about the event. Now, I understand that this is Saturday. I understand that it actually started yesterday. Is that correct?
Yes. So Friday it starts in Seligman. There's registration and packet pickup. There are all different car events, bands, live music. Visit Seligman, your favorite gift shops. From there, Saturday morning, the cars all line up on Route 66 in Seligman. Angel waves them off, and the cars drive down historic Route 66 towards Kingman, stopping at their favorite stops, Grand Canyon Caverns, Hackberry General Store, and eventually end up here at the Show and Shine Car Show in Kingman.
Now that's great. Now tell us about the size of the event. How many cars get registered, and how many do you think actually show up for attendance as far as viewing?
Yes. So we have about 800 cars in attendance, most of them being classic cars. We have thousands of spectators. I believe last year we had between 5,000 and 7,000 people come to see the cars.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Now, I understand the event continues again tomorrow on Sunday. So can you tell us about tomorrow's activity?
Yes. Sunday, there is an award ceremony in Lewis Kingman Park. So we will give out 53 awards tomorrow from all different categories, including a hard luck award where people get to tell their sob story about what went wrong. And most of them still showed up and brought their car, even if it was on a trailer with tires that were, falling off. So it's a really fun time. So we have the award ceremony followed by a parade. Everyone goes from Kingman through Oatman to Topock.
So across the United States, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of different types of car shows and car events. What makes the Arizona Fun Run unique?
Yes. So the Fun Run is special because we are celebrating historic Route 66. I think a lot of participants have a special place in their heart for Route 66. And really, we're not about the awards. This isn't a serious car show. We're really out here just having fun.
And tell about the centennial coming up.
Yes, 2026, we will celebrate Route 66. We will have the Fun Run. It will be bigger and better than ever. Definitely want to register early. We are expecting to sell out, and we can accommodate 850 vehicles.
Tell me about the drive-through shield and the visitor center.
Yes, so the permanent drive-through shield, the idea came from the Fun Run, actually. The Fun Run used to put up a wooden drive-through shield cutout, and people loved to drive under it and get their picture taken. Since then, we have evolved and we have a blow-up drive-through shield, but people loved it so much and always wanted that photo. So Kingman wanted to put in a permanent opportunity for people to be able to drive through and get their photos with the arch. So that went in a few years ago, and it is very popular with guests. The historic Route 66 Association of Arizona has a gift shop in the Kingman Visitor Center. So come visit us almost every day of the year.
And what is Angle Delgadillo's association with historic Route 66?
Yes, so Angel is the guardian angel of Route 66. He lives in Seligman, Arizona, and he is the president emeritus of the historic Route 66 Association of Arizona. So he is still involved, still helps make decisions, and he loves to sing in our meetings.
And what was his participation in the early years? Why is he considered the angel of Route 66?
So Angel and a group of business owners on Route 66 started the association as a way to get people back onto Route 66 after I-40 had opened, to really save their businesses. So they formed this organization who are the ones who championed the road being designated as historic. And so from there, the success of the association really has grown to what it is today.
And it didn't stop with Arizona. Can you elaborate on that? The other states picking up historic Route 66 as well.
Yes. So Arizona, we are the first state to have a stretch of Route 66 designated as historic. We are the first Route 66 association. From there, all the other states fell in line, and now we have 8 state associations supporting Route 66 across the country.
When does your Arizona Route 66 Fun Run occur?
Yes. The Fun Run is always the weekend before Mother's Day. So it generally falls on the first weekend of May. You can find all the information on our website, 66funrun.com, and you can register all year long for next year's event.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day. By the way, hats off to you. I don't know how you can manage this, but again, just hats off to you and your organization for doing such a fabulous job of arranging and facilitating this event.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Sunday morning, we continued our Fun Run drive west to Cool Springs. Cool Springs was a terrific stop with friendly staff and a well-stocked gift shop. I purchased a few souvenirs, and then we all continued on to Oatman. And of course, we all drove the famous Arizona Route 66 Sidewinder to Oatman. We spent about an hour in Oatman enjoying the famous ghost town and the wandering burros. After Oatman, we again continued west on Route 66 to Topock. We had never been to Topock before, so this was a new experience for all of us. We finished our Route 66 fun run at the Topock Car Show, and later I received this patch from Cool Springs for finishing the entire fun run. But for our little group, the road trip didn't end there. Instead, we drove north up to Nevada to tour the Hoover Dam, then east to Horseshoe Bend near Paige in northern Arizona. Now, if you're ever near Paige, be sure to stop and check out Horseshoe Bend. It's a beautiful view and a short, easy walk from the parking lot. Driving north, we went up to Monument Valley, Utah, and we encountered a huge dust storm. So we really didn't get a chance to enjoy the unique landscapes. Instead, we continued east to Durango, Colorado. We spent an extra day in Durango and took the old steam train up to Silverton. Now, the Silverton town and the round trip train ride was a great way to spend the day. Leaving Durango, we spent 2 days driving east home to Arkansas. Now, during this 11-day road trip, we actually covered 11 states and a little over 3,400 miles in our old classic cars. And what's normal with old classic cars, we did encounter a few roadside and parking lot repairs. On this trip, it seemed to be my turn with my '60 Impala. What first appeared to be a faulty lower radiator hose actually ended up being a weeping water pump. Now, of course, this happened in the middle of nowhere, about an hour east of Monument Valley in the Utah High Plains Desert. It turned out the nearest parts store was about 80 miles away. Luckily, we all carry extra engine coolant, and a good Samaritan on the highway shared his water as well. While the water pump was weeping water, I would drive very slowly up large hills, or maybe they were actually small mountains. And reaching the top, while the car was still moving, I would turn off the engine and coast down the hills. Of course, turning off the engine also turned off the power for the power steering and the power for power brakes. And I believe I remember reaching around 70 miles an hour coasting down the hills and around the curves. As the road would flatten out, the car would slow down, and I would restart the engine and repeat it over and over and over again, going up and down the hills or small mountains until we finally pulled into a town with a parts store. And we all replaced the lower radiator hose, thinking that was the problem. So we continued on to Durango. By the time we reached Durango, I knew I still had the same problem. So we found a water pump at a parts store, and using the hotel parking lot, we replaced the water pump, which was pretty easy. I think it took less than an hour. Over the years, my wife and I have driven our old 1960 Impala over 50,000 miles to many U.S. locations, and we have completed the entire Route 66 from Chicago to Santa Monica in this old '60 Impala. We travel with great friends, and we all carry tools, extra parts, and of course, we help each other out. It's just part of the classic car culture.
Okay, girls, let's see. What's wrong with the car?
That bolt's missing down there.
Which one?
The rubber piece over here is gone. The whole bushing's gone.
The doohickey fell off.
Just take that hammer. Just use the hammer right over there. Okay, take it out now, Karen. You got it.
I got it.
Take it out.
Got your 9/16 here. Hold on to this and we'll just... There we go. Okay.
Well, be careful now.
I think
I think it's loose now. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I think the problem is
Radiator
obvious.
oil. It needs radiator oil.
The problem is
I got oil from the radiator on me.
there's no left-hand tire. That's the problem.
Thank you for watching This Week on Route 66. Feel free to share this video link with your friends and family, and be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, keep getting your kicks on Route 66.